peace,
and love.
and love, and welcome. Or, hold on, I actually might put you on the bed. Or welcome back to the palace. In today's episode of Hairpiece, Bed Piece, we're going to be talking about the Matrix. The Matrix. Hold on, I gotta fix your leg a little bit. You're a little wobbly. I hope we are finding you well and with an open and ready mind to receive some of our own personal beliefs and opinions on the Matrix, as well as what we gathered just about as far as what the message for this newest Matrix is trying to relay again, if you ask me, and kind of just open up some collective conversation about it, because I was seeing a lot of people. Well, I wasn't, but he was, where he was like, hey, the new Matrix is coming out, and I was kind of excited because I love Keanu Reeves, so I was already like, oh my gosh. But then he was reading a lot of people leave reviews on his Facebook, right? Facebook?
Just social media. There was a lot of people. I just felt it was ironic that there was a lot of backlash on the movie.
Yeah, they didn't like it. They were talking
didn't
crap.
like it. There was a bunch of bad reviews. So it was like, why? How? What? How could this be? Not the Matrix. So then we saw it.
Yes.
It was like, oh my gosh, the irony in these bad reviews.
We saw it on Telegram.
The sleeping, not liking.
Recording will be stopped and saved when you answer call. It's a telemarketer. Getting a call from the Matrix. Decline. Funny. I've been getting a lot of spam calls, actually. I think that's just Mercury being retrograde in Aquarius. But
that's something that happened in the movie. Anytime that he would... anytime that Neo would start remembering or start having these
recollections of his true self,
activations, or just start remembering, essentially.
This is blueberry, strawberry, mango, cacao, hemp, protein, hemp seeds. Hemp seeds? Is that what you would call it?
Yeah.
A little bit of honey, some cinnamon, and some oat milk. I just figured someone might be curious what we're drinking. Continue. So what I actually first wanted to talk about was like, okay, I got a new voicemail, yay. So the reason I wanted us to speak on this, what are you looking at?
I'll just finish my thought later.
I'm sorry, finish your thought.
No,
you remember your thought? Did I distract you with my swimming comment?
No, you showed up as an agent. Whenever they had revelations or remembering, there were distractions would come in. Distractions would come in and pull him away from him remembering. So I thought that was really interesting. Because that often happens in real life. I was just playing with it.
I'm not an agent, I promise. Please, do you have another thought you want to say for it?
No, that was it. That was it. It was every time he remembered or had a recollection or started.
I feel bad.
Oh my gosh, I was just playing, y'all. I probably got blueberry in my tea.
It'll be alright. Well, the other thing I kind of wanted to mention in an unagent-like way was that when we first started talking about this, the Matrix hadn't even really come out yet. But I just remember one night we were just sitting on the floor and we were just talking about a bunch of random stuff from both of our perspectives. And he was talking to me about, kind of recognizing the Matrix that we work in on a 3D plane. Because in your 5D energy, you are not a part of the Matrix, although you flow and move through it like they do in the movies. But he was speaking more on his personal experience of seeing like technology be inserted into the physical realm, like in a more present way in everybody's lives. Whereas when I was born, I didn't necessarily see that shift and change because I was born in 93. So I vaguely remember 1999 and being like, I knew something was going on and people were talking about it. And
oh yeah.
But his awareness of that was way different than mine. So I kind of wanted him to just elaborate that a little bit, and then we can talk about our Matrix stuff. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, this is a safe space. Safe space.
So sad.
We'll talk about it later when the camera's off. I'm just joking. No, I was just really interested.
You can tell we're awkward.
Being born in '86, so I was 13 when like 1999 came around. And then this whole Y2K thing. I feel like I was the last generation, part of the last generation that got to grow up without cell phones. And I often say, you know, alone time turned into phone time. So it feels like a lot of the youth is getting their alone time taken away from them to figure out who they are and have those awkward thoughts and just to be and to become and to figure out who they truly are and not have other people tell them who they are.
Or the cell phone tell them.
So yeah, it was just interesting to see when we were reflecting on that to
recognize,
sort of gauge what's occurred since then and what was occurring before then, and how, you know, I don't know. I just felt that I got to witness sort of a shift of technology, or at least an introduction of a more of a I don't know what the.
We had TV.
Yeah, we had the TV. Internet was slowly starting to come around, and I'm not sure what the Y2K. It was labeled Y2K. I'm not sure what was underneath that, what was truly going on. But everyone was freaking out. Everybody thought, you know, turn off your computers. People were doomsday prepping for Y2K. They thought once 1999 turned into 2000, the electric grid was going to cut off, and we were going to be dead.
Perhaps we did die.
Well,
symbolically.
Yeah, the innocence.
Be put into pods and not realize it.
And things started speeding up after that.
And
you know,
something he also has mentioned before is like recognizing that people have like a TV in every room, and now it's almost like with cell phones too, being a large part of the matrix, is now you don't even need to have the TV in your room, because now you basically have a little TV in your hand. Advertising all the time. You have those little bots all around all the time. So this is kind of like a very, I didn't think us recording a video about the Matrix was going to be very like this. I figured it was going to kind of, because it's like weaving a web of creation in your divine matrix. So it isn't just like singular points. It's all these little things that come together. And I remember watching the original Matrixes and being very...
The Matrix came out in 99.
Didn't it? It came out very close to, was it 2000?
We could have looking for a phone to look it up.
Yeah, that makes me mad too sometimes. It's like, so there's so much that like, if we want to know something, I'm like, I don't want to have to go to my phone to know this information. But I digress. So I remember watching the original ones, feeling very like, even as a little kid, I was kind of like, this doesn't seem like it's just a movie.
It's a documentary.
Yeah, it felt very foreboding, very warning. Like, hey, are you listening? And then to see this newest one come out, if you haven't seen the old ones, you're definitely not going to like this one, because there's a lot that you need to know within the last 3 or 4 films that they made to understand what's happening to Neo in this one. But to make a long story short, he basically broke out of the Matrix, was able to recognize his divine sovereignty and move through the Matrix and help others to wake up. And then somehow, in this Matrix, he is asleep again. Somehow he's back in the Matrix and does not remember, but only in these little minute ways of like working on a video game where he's basing all these experiences and characters off of his actual experience when he woke up the first time and then he went back to sleep. And Dustin wrote a lot of notes because we watched it like 3 times to get together like a whole little list of interesting things that were happening. So if you see any that pop out that are like you want to flesh out, we can. If you haven't seen it, some of these might sound
One
confusing.
of the opening lines in this, I think it's called Resurrection, but it feels like a remembrance. I feel like it could have been called Matrix Remembrance. Because honestly, that's what we're in. We are in the time and age that we are in, the age of Aquarius. It feels like we're in a stage of remembrance. There's nothing new under the sun. We're just remembering our divine sovereignty, our divine birthrights that we naturally are innately endowed with.
Preach.
We're superhuman. We're supreme beings, and we're remembering that. And we're in control. One of the opening lines was, this old code feels really familiar. and it almost feels like it's easy to be complacent, or it's easy to remain in the safe space, in the familiarity of
The Matrix.
your comfort zone. Just feels familiar. I
love how he's written these notes.
It's pretty. I'm gonna have trouble trying to read them. Later in the opening scene, she's running. She's got blue hair, mind you.
The blue pill, red pill.
She runs into the room of keys. To me, it felt like we hold the key. We are the ultimate key holders. That's our dog barking.
You said I agree.
Confirmation. We hold the key. Oh, she runs into Morpheus. Morpheus is talking about, I saw this pattern and it was everywhere. We can't see it, but we're all trapped inside these strange repeating loops. Somehow I saw it in the mirror.
The mirror was an important part of that. It's through the reflection.
Right there.
Self-reflection.
How could one... I just think about everybody who was complaining about the movie, and then it's like, well, that's why it's so funny. That's why it's so ironic, because they're caught in those loops so much so that they can't even. They're looking for like action and good acting and fighting when there's like such a divine mirror being held up and reflected onto them that they don't even see that. Oh, this movie's whack. This movie that. When actually it's
I like it.
They're getting red pilled and don't even know it. So, the power of I am. No, the blue pill is what kept you in there. The red pill is what woke you up.
Yeah.
The choice is an illusion. You already know what you have to do. They give us so many choices. Right and wrong, right duality. We're in the process of transcending duality. The choice is an illusion. In that particular scene, Morpheus is an agent, and I was like, oh, even an agent can wake up. Even the most
they chose the
slept individual can become
from the
woke.
First ones.
And the power of I am. He claimed, I am Morpheus, and I'm here to find Neo. That just, for me, highlighted the power of your I ams, and what follows behind them. The sign on the roof said Sabor la Mierda.
Sabor la Mierda.
Which means
savor the fear.
Savor the fear. When they're running on the scene, boom, boom, boom. Because we're pumped full of fear. Fear. That's how whomever keeps those looped in those repeating patterns. The fear of loss, the fear of the unknown, the fear of the big bad boogeyman, the fear of sickness, the fear. And I was there. I was around a year after 2001. After 2000, I was in high school when 9/11 happened, and to see how fear was used as a catalyst for war and for control and for restoring and securing freedom. So they use that as a catalyst to push an agenda. So fear is the major tactic in this spiritual warfare, but there's nothing to fear but fear itself. It's an illusion. Anytime you have revelations or downloads occurring, distractions would immediately arise, and I'm talking about Neo. He would see something going on in the Matrix.
Hey, dude, what's up? Hey, you want to go get something to drink, man?
Distractions were sent in, and that's sort of how it works. And if you meditate on the regular, you know that distractions could come in when you're trying to sit still, but that comes with the territory. So you just allow those distractions to sort of
be a part,
blow in the wind like some trees on a leaf.
Some trees on a leaf. You hear that?
Tiffany, Trinity. There's a video that we'll post in a link. We'll post a link in the description box below that breaks down the etymology, breaks down the occult meaning of Neo and the different religions and different meanings behind, a deeper sense of meanings behind this movie. They touch hands. They touch. The power of touch. And that sparks a remembrance, or confirms the remembrance that he was feeling.
I'm gonna hold your hand.
Yeah, what no Neo without a Mr. Anderson.
Oh yeah, which was really cool because I felt like Mr. Anderson was. He's like, good, start talking. I can drink my smoothie. I thought it was cool that in this one you kind of understand that Mr. Anderson or Agent Smith rather than Mr. Anderson.
Oh yeah, no, Mr. Smith, not Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson was Neo.
Yeah, Mr. Smith is essentially acting as his shadow self. He's acting as the aspects of ourself that we actually do need to move through the 3D environment. This was something that I've learned just from watching readers and listening to people on YouTube who speak about integrating your shadow instead of killing your shadow, and that you do need your shadow to move through the 3D realm. It is a useful tool. So in this one, it was interesting to see that Agent Smith was kind of recognizing that, understanding that, and then letting Neo know, like, we do actually, like, need each other. Like, I am nothing without you. This is a dance that we do. And I was like, oh snap, he's his like shadow self. Like, have you ever seen Scott Pilgrim? He has Scott, and then there's Nega Scott. It's like the same little thing. Like, it's actually like your friend. And the guy was also in Hamilton. He was really good at Hamilton. So you should check out Hamilton.
So yeah, and they were breaking down about how Morpheus and Mr. Smith, are two aspects of Neo. So that's like the light and the dark, the good and the
higher
bad,
self,
the yin and the yang. And in that scene when Mr. Smith like first shows up, and the first attempt they have on trying to like red pill Neo again, he waits too long, and he ends up in the psychologist in his therapy session, and it feels like they misdirect or reroute these awakenings or revelations or downloads or remembrances. I don't know if that's a word.
Yeah.
They redirect that through psychology, and they have an explanation for everything. No. You're just no. You're not remembering a past life. You're just this. You're having a psychosomatic
anxiety attack.
It's so. I thought that was interesting that was the handler or the architect was the psychologist, because it's all mental. 7 hermetic principles. It's all is mental. And he hit him with the, do you need a refill for your prescription? A lot of people out here remembering, or starseeds are remembering, who are not crazy, but they're labeled ADHD or bipolar, or it's the society and the ways in which we handle ourselves and each other and nature that's created these labels, and they're just byproducts from the misalignments occurring within the container of humanity at this moment, or society, which is not our natural birthright or innate nature. When they were talking about the video game, flash a few more scenes. They're talking about making a new video game, and they're talking about getting into the gray space. I highly recommend you research the gray space and the gray matter in your brain. It's affected by different it's affected I don't know what I'm trying to say here.
Mercury's in retrograde.
Research the gray space. One of the quotes after that said, it's so much simpler to bury reality than it is to dispose of dreams.
You say that again.
It is so much simpler to bury reality than it is to dispose of dreams. Tiffany, or Trinity, was talking about how, when she was talking with Neo, she talked about how do you know if you want something yourself, or if your upbringing programmed you to want it.
Take some time to self-reflect.
How could you not? I don't like that. This movie's whack. Do you think that's whack, or were you programmed to think it's whack?
And what's interesting about Trinity and Neo's
twin flame,
relationship in this is that
divine union.
They are aware of one another, but they're not woven together with one another yet. And that's a note that he
Hurry.
has.
I have too much stuff.
He wrote a lot of notes. But the movie had so many things that, especially because we watched it like 3 times. So we saw it the first time, didn't take any notes. And I was like, we should talk about this. And then he's like, okay, well, I need to watch it again, take notes. So we watched it again, then we took notes, and then we watched it one more time because we only watched it's like 2.5 hours. So we watched the first half, and we watched the second half. And there's so much. There's like signs everywhere in the movie. And what I think is interesting, a large part outside of his like notes that he's taken, I'm sure it's in the notes, is that when they are in the Matrix, when you're working in the Matrix and like you don't recognize you're in the Matrix, like he's at his job as a video designer, and Trinity, or her name's Tiffany, in her Matrix, she has a kind of like a douchebaggish partner, but she's got 2 kids, so she's kind of like a working mom. And they're in their matrices, but what's actually happening to their actual bodies is that they're in a pod in real life with like a little sucker in their throat and all these like attachments on their body. And when they are awoken from the Matrix, when they take their pill to wake up and exit the Matrix, they like pull that thing out of their mouth and all the suckers come off. And where they're living is in like a dystopian looking reality. Like that's what actually is. They're working on rebuilding that reality. What's crazy to me is that a lot of times, like, it's symbolic in the movie, yes, but we have those things within our 3D world, attachments, and recognizing to detach from those things because they just feed off of our source energy.
We do not consent to any infringements.
I found that very interesting and it stuck out to me a
lot. They track with the mirror. A lot of people refer throughout they track the analyst tracks Neo with the mirror. He has a mirror in his house, and I feel that was representative of like the cell phones and computer screens, the black mirror.
It's made out of obsidian crystal, which is the crystal that you use to scry, which is to project your consciousness into other realms and dimensions. I learned that working at the crystal shop. We're at 22 minutes. We're doing good.
I'm trying.
It's all of our personal responsibilities to exit the Matrix.
They finally got Neo to take a red pill, but he was still struggling. Still was deeply programmed with the Matrix. So Neo knew what he needed. Morpheus said, "I know what he needs," and he activated a lot of Neo through movement,
martial arts.
Through martial arts. Because the body remembers what the mind forgets. So we activated through movement.
A lot is stored in the body.
And it sort of highlighted the importance of moving the body and even martial arts.
Yep, man.
Matrix can turn the truth to trivial. That's what the Matrix does. It weaponizes every idea, every dream. What better way to bury the truth than in a video game? These are quotes from the movie.
Yeah, they're walking by, and they're talking about what's about to happen. This lady's like, "I'm sorry, what did you just say? Did you just say that we're in what?" And he was like, "Oh, it's just a video game." She's like, "Oh, okay."
That's in Don't Look Up.
That wasn't in the Matrix?
We just recently watched Don't Look Up just to see what everybody was talking about, and that's sort of Matrixy too.
Yeah. No, that's definitely Matrix.
With Trinity or Tiffany, it highlighted that even family is part of the Matrix. For the activated individuals, the Starseeds, you probably know firsthand that some of the family line isn't waking up this go round, isn't waking up this incarnation, and that's okay. And learning to sort of detach from that and accept that it's all love anyway.
Honor their personal journey, and that it's their own choice. And that was a big thing too, was recognizing that they can't just force people to wake up and see. They have to choose it on their own. It doesn't work if they don't choose it.
So his first attempt to wake Neo is wiped by the analyst, psychologist, the therapist, who's pumping him full of medication, who also has a cat. Let's focus on the cat and the bell, and that made me think of Men in Black. Men in Black, when the cat was the carrier of Orion's belt. I forgot the name. It's just a testimony to the spiritual nature of the cat.
It's always in direct communion with the spirit world.
Black cat. Medium to spirit realm. Breakdown. Oh, and the cat's name was Deja Vu.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting as well.
One of the, I forgot her name in the movie, but she was talking about Neo. First time she saw Neo, she said, thought I knew my life until I looked up. And she saw Neo, which is an anagram for
one.
Research the etymology of Tiffany, of Neo.
It will probably be in that video that we link.
Yeah.
So check it out.
Jude. Oh, Jude. Isn't Jude Judea? Anyway.
We're doing good. We're at 25.
Like the second or third attempt of waking up Neo, she was on top. He was about to jump off the roof. She came in contact with him. I forgot her name. She was one of the. Dang, I forgot.
I'm good. I'm not good with the names.
She was like, "Come with me." Gave him the option. He was like, his friend called. Mm-hmm. She was like, "That's gonna be Jude. He's not your friend. Mm-hmm. He's a hand of the program.
Hand of the program.
Used to control you." And a lot of people out here know. Most friends aren't friends. Mm-hmm.
Feeding, just like the Matrix feeds.
It's very important to be mindful of the company you keep. Free will choice. The noise you make. Free will choice. Free will choice is the main theme of the whole movie. That's something we were endowed with our free will choice. Let's see. Seek the redwoods. Oh, seek Sequoia. He had the redwoods.
Do it in this
His
life.
His name was Seek, and then he had a tattoo of the redwoods. He was the driver of the ship, or the programmer of the ship that Neo was on. Morpheus hit him with a cool little quote. Said, "Not all seek to control, and not all seek to understand." I believe. Self-doubt shows up with Neo everywhere Neo goes, and then he has it internally, and then you see it externally. He's already red-pilled. He's already he's still self-doubting, so everything around him is showing that he's seeing the self-doubt through his interactions, through other people who already know who he is.
Yep.
So, as within, so without. Silence. Jada Pinkett's old ass in that movie talks about silence.
It took me a minute to recognize. I was like, that's Jada Pinkett. She was like, oh yeah, I'm coming.
Freya was the head of her botany class in Greek mythology, right? Freya.
Norse mythology.
Norse
mythology.
Welcome to the garden. We are in the garden, grounded in the garden.
Heaven is now.
Hit him with a quote that said, "Nothing can breed violence like scarcity." So
we've all seen that.
Hundreds and thousands of years. Trinity had a dream, which actually is a vision. And a lot of people are able to have those visions through the dream state. The dream state is very real, and there's a lot of truth awaiting you in the dream state. In
the subconscious realm, where it's harder for the Matrix to manipulate you.
Unless, you're consuming,
yeah.
and then you go to sleep.
Yeah.
I highly recommend a few hours of no screen time before you go to bed.
You're doing so good.
The analysts talked about using the power that defines you to control you. I'll let you
take that as you, yeah.
Neo died and was resurrected. The divine union. So free will choice and the divine union and the holy trinity of essentially, the man, woman, and inner child. Trinity and Neo connecting as one. He was talking about how you two together were useless, but when together, or you two by yourselves were pretty much useless, but together,
like acids and bases.
With like acids and bases, that's when. So I think it's a testimony to the power of the divine union, the masculine and the feminine, and that seems to be getting attacked in real time now. Well, I say real time in Matrix time right You people believe the craziest shit.
Don't we?
This movie's not tight. This movie's not good. It's trash. Just trash. I need more
Horrible.
action. I need more.
Boring. I
Need more
like
blood,
it.
dog.
It was lame. Instead of I think we're actually supposed to say
The analyst said feelings are easier to control than facts. And that right there is a fact because they're playing off our energy bodies. Fear, low vibrational through media, through music, through television, they're pulling the heartstrings. They're playing your low vibratory feelings and emotions and keep you in that wavelength.
Imagine if we did not have televisions, if we did not have cell phones. It'd be a lot more difficult to be manipulated by the Matrix. I'm trying to even figure out how that would happen.
And the analyst still talked about desire and fear, baby. That's what this life is about. The desire to want more, but the fear of losing what you already have. This movie's whack.
There was a great scene with Neil Patrick Harris's character as the architect and explaining literally a lot of the major
they hide the
motivations of
they hide truth
the darker forces and energies that are working within this mental matrix.
When they plan to retrieve Trinity, they all link up. They go to a higher realm. They're all gathered around the water, which is the first original mirror where you see your reflection. And as they were speaking about the plan to retrieve Trinity, it unfolded. So they believed in the plan, and as they speaketh, they becometh. As they thought, they became. And they were speaking about the plan, and it was unfolding in real time as they were talking about it, as they believed it. So that's a testimony to the word of God, the word of whatever you want to call it.
Mantras.
It's my turn to believe in her, Neo said. The divine masculine. The divine masculine. I need to sound more manly. The divine masculine empowering the divine feminine, which I feel is occurring. The divine feminine is on its rise, which is also rising the divine masculine. And as men, we're here to hold a space for our women to rise into that, and vice versa. We must give. We must abide by her decision. They couldn't force her. They couldn't just take her out of the matrix. She had to choose.
Yep.
Free will choice. We all have a choice. Every morning we wake up with a chance and a choice. They can't take that away. Doubt takes over. Even family is a part of it. You got to believe in it. You have to believe in yourself. You can't look to your mom. You can't look to your dad. You can't look to your siblings to believe in yourself or to do the work for you. You have to believe. You have that free will choice and no one else. It's your life to live.
Take responsibility for your life.
Shadow Smith close to the end of the movie, analyst is about to off Tiffany until Mr. Smith shows up. Says, see, we're not so different. We're not so different, you and I. We're on the same. Without you, there is no me. Without me, there is no you. And he ends up whipping the analyst's ass and helping Neo or himself, because if Neo's destroyed, he's destroyed. So,
our shadow protecting us in the 3D realm.
Shadow is nothing to fear. It just wants some light to be shed on it. And it wants to be accepted, integrated,
shadow work,
and then embodied in unconditional love. Empty vessels. Empty vessels in some of the last scenes there on that motorcycle. And just empty vessels. Just falling. Being used at
turned into little bots and bombs.
Turning bots into bombs. And those are those
people
empty
who are
vessels,
just,
man. Empty vessels who are
so
looped,
asleep.
Which we pray for divine love and guidance and understanding and forgiveness. I remember us. Yeah, I remember us, which I think that was Tiffany saying that to Neo, or Trinity saying that to Neo, and that's what this represents: is the the great remembrance. We're in the great remembrance right now. We're waking up to our divinity and our galactic lineage and what we're here for and our purpose, showing up in purpose and on purpose. The rise of the feminine. In that assists the rise of the masculine. The sheep. The analyst said, "Y'all could have this, but the sheep aren't going anywhere. Sheep gonna sheep. The sleep gonna sleep." And then he also said, at the very end, she's like whipping the analyst's booty, killing them, bringing them back to life. She's like, "Oh, this is fun." And one of the last ones, she was like, "That's for using children." And I feel that's a very that's one of these like deep planted truths, because Hollywood has been known to abuse children. Child trafficking is a major issue. Has always been a major issue, from adrenochrome to all that. That's a whole nother video. But Hollywood is a major factor in child trafficking, and I think that's sort of what they were touching on. But yeah, those are the notes I have. Free will choice, divine union between the masculine and the feminine, honoring that, embodying that, rising into that. Self-doubt, as long as it isn't within you, it's going to show up around you. Even Neo had it as he was remembering. Again, I felt this wasn't, it could have been the remembrance, because he was remembering. Even when he was fighting Morpheus, he was like, "I still know Taekwondo." Mm-hmm. I think a lot of us are waking up, remembering, and activating. And we are the one. You are the chosen one. And we have the power. There's no power that lies outside of us. It's all within. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
That's what I got.
It was actually really interesting to watch and to see, because I've spoken in my own other personal videos about having woken up and then going back to sleep and then having to be woken up again and being like, how did that happen? How did I wake up and start meditating, like speaking out on chemtrails, working with crystals, calling to guides, and then still go back to sleep? We're certified as a Reiki practitioner, like connecting like so deeply to spirit and like higher self, and then still go back into the matrix. So I was very deeply like affected by seeing like, oh snap. And that's something I think is important to just remind as well, is that it is a conscious choice every day. Like he takes the pill once in the movie and then you wake up. I don't think it works like that. I think every morning, like my partner was saying, you wake up with a chance and a choice. I think you wake up every morning with the opportunity to take, I don't want to call it the red pill or the blue pill, because I couldn't remember which one was which. So I said, well, it's to take the white pill. And then my guides corrected me to say, take the light pill. So every morning I make a conscious effort to take a light pill. As weird as that may feel, it doesn't feel weird to me, and it's a great reminder to me in the morning to wake up and remember my sovereignty, to take some time to sit in meditation, to take some time to quiet down, to not immediately reach for a phone, to not immediately go onto a computer, to kind of slowly move into the flow of the day, because what you start your day with ripples out the rest of your day. Mm-hmm. So the choices you make first thing when you wake up are powerful. It literally ripples out into your matrix.
Sets the tone for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
We are co-creators of this experience.
Yeah. And I didn't like making this video. I already felt was going to be kind of like dense to make, and we didn't have a lot of time to record today because we got a lot of other things happening this week. So it was like, we need to record it because like it's a part of what we want to speak about, but it's also in a certain different amount of matrixy time to speak on it, because it's something that honestly could be fleshed out over eons and eons. So
if you've seen the movie, let us know what you think.
Yeah.
If there's some topics that we missed or you want to highlight, let us know. Mm-hmm. We would love to discuss.
That would be really interesting to talk more and flesh out about, especially too if you didn't like it, please elaborate.
Let me know why
you did not like it.
Let's talk about that.
I really appreciated what it was trying to do.
It was like, I think it was I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. It was intentionally cheesy.
In the beginning.
It was
Like the
intentionally
first,
like
30 minutes.
cringy. Like I was like, oh snap.
Because that's
I
what
get why
that's what
people didn't
3D
like it.
feels like, though. To me, interacting with people, a lot of people who are stuck in the 3D matrix, like hurts because it's so dense.
Yeah.
And it like hurts your
I
brain.
think it was intentional for that.
It's like this is painful because it's not natural. It's not who we are. So yeah, leave some comments below. I know, like I said, our conversation topics. I'll make the title as clear as possible. That we're kind of just discussing notes we took on the Matrix. So that way you're not thinking we're coming in here like, yes,
Well,
and in this
the
date,
Matrix
this
established in 19... Oh, who was the original creator of the Matrix?
Sophie Stewart.
Sophie Stewart.
Check her out.
Research that.
Weave a web of creation.
She won a lawsuit
in your divine
against
Matrix, the Wachowskis.
The Wachowskis. Research the original creator of the Matrix.
Yep. It was originally titled The Third Eye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, get it? Or is that not cool enough to not tell you? I still don't like it, bro. I still don't like it.
But yeah, we really wanted to sit and speak on it, and this is already 41 minutes, which I wasn't expecting to happen. But we wanted to open up collective conversation, as we are doing with all of our bed piece topics. So thank you so much for chilling with us, letting us just be ourselves, drink our smoothies, read our notes, say a lot, and trying to turn it into And yeah, don't forget to like this video if you liked it. Leave a comment, please. Don't forget to subscribe so you can be notified. Oh, hit the bell for future notifications because we are consistently posting. And a lot of exciting things are coming for us on this journey, on our path, on the channel with you as family. So thank you so much for watching. Take some time, if you will, to meditate in the morning. Take your light pill. Remember, you're divine sovereign being. You make your own choices in this life. You don't have to consent to
we
those
do not
arrangements.
consent to any inorganics or infringements.
Divine. And until next time, peace and love.